All right, so today we're going to break down a really powerful mental model, one that could completely change how you make decisions when you're under pressure. It's called the 48-hour Mastermind Rule. And honestly, understanding this might just be your new superpower. So let's get right into it. You know that feeling, right? We've all been there. A project completely blows up, a colleague disrespects you in front of everyone, and you get that hot surge of emotion screaming at you to do something right now. That feeling, that raw, immediate impulse, that's exactly what we're tackling today. But here's the thing. Acting on that impulse is a total trap. There's a name for this, and it's called level 1 thinking. And it's the very thing that keeps most of us reacting to life instead of being in command of it. So what is really going on here? Well, that brings us to our first section, the level 1 thinking trap. This is basically the default mode for our brains when we're under fire. See, level 1 thinking means you're pretty much a pawn to your own emotions. This quote really nails it. When you react immediately, you fall into what's called emotional sabotage. You end up torpedoing your own long-term goals just because you couldn't resist that urge in the moment. So how in the world do you break out of that trap? What if there was like a system override for your brain? Well, that's exactly what Section 2 is all about, the 48-hour system override. The key to this entire strategy, this whole system, it's this number right here, 48. But what does it actually mean? What's so special about 48? And here it is, the 48-hour Mastermind Rule. Now, the rule itself sounds simple, but trust me, putting it into practice is incredibly hard. After a huge win or a massive, soul-crushing setback, you do nothing. You step back for 2 full days. This is the system override for your brain's emotional wiring. And let's be crystal clear about something. This isn't about being lazy or avoiding a tough situation. Oh no, this is a strategic move. It's about, and I love this phrase, weaponizing your perception, turning a simple delay into your greatest tactical advantage. So why 48 hours? Why not 24 or 72? What is actually happening inside your head during that time? That's what we're going to cover in Section 3, letting the fog burn off. Okay, so when you have one of those high-stakes moments, your emotional brain, your limbic system, it just hijacks everything. It floods you with stress hormones, creating this thick emotional fog. And that fog completely clouds your rational brain, your prefrontal cortex, which is in charge of planning and, thinking straight. That 48-hour delay, that's the time your body needs for that fog to literally burn off so your rational brain can finally come back online and reconnect the dots. And that's the real game we're playing here. We're trying to build elite-level impulse control. Because at the end of the day, that is the ultimate psychological power. It's the one thing that separates people who are reactive from those who are truly strategic. Okay, so that's all the theory. But what does this actually look like in the real world? Let's take a look from what we'll call the view from the chessboard. Just imagine this, because it's happened to almost all of us. You're in a big meeting, you're presenting your work, and then, bam, a colleague just publicly shoots down your idea or disrespects you. Your blood starts to boil. In that exact moment, you have 2 paths you can take. And right here, you can see the 2 paths laid out. The level 1 thinker, they explode. They get defensive. They lash out in the heat of the moment. And by doing that, they hand over all their power to the other person. They lose. But the mastermind, they use a tactical delay. They might say nothing at all. They let that awkward silence just hang in the air, carrying all the tension. And while everyone else is swarming, they're just observing the social chessboard. They don't react. They wait, and because of that, they control the outcome. I mean, this is powerful stuff, right? So how do you actually start using this in your own life? Well, that brings us to our final section, your first mastermind move.
So here it is. This is the playbook. The next time you face a major challenge, this is what you do. Step 1, just let it happen. Face the setback. Step 2, and this is the hardest part, don't act. Instead, you document. Write down exactly how you feel, every single detail. Step 3, you wait. The full 48 hours. And you use that time to brainstorm other moves. And finally, step 4, strike. Now you make your move.
And this right here, this is the payoff. This is why you wait. Because when you finally do act after that delay, your move isn't emotional or messy. To put it in these powerful words, your move becomes calculated, surgical, and absolutely inevitable. You've just turned a moment of potential failure into a brilliant, unstoppable strategy. So when you boil it all down, The biggest takeaway is this: true power isn't in your immediate reaction, it's in the space you create before you react. The 48-hour rule gives you a system to own that space. And that just leaves us with one final question for you to think about. What's one decision you're glad you waited on?